Okay, let's talk about hyperlinks. What is a hyperlink? Well, a hyperlink is something you might include on your website, and it's basically a link to some other type of data. It could be another page on your website, it could be something to download. So, for example, if you went on Google, a bunch of hyperlinks on this main page. So, I could click this about, and it'll take me to a new page. So, it just links things together. It links data. That's basically a digital link between all types of data on a potential website. All right, how do you make those? Well, here's VS Code. Let's open our folder. Let's go to our H drive, yada, 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 web design. Let's make a new folder. Let's call this O2 hyperlinks. And we'll go inside the folder, select it, and here we go. So within this folder, let's create our main page for our website. So let's go new file. Actually, let's go here. We'll do new file here. And what is the name of our home page? Do you remember from last lesson? It's going to be index.html. Boom. And your basic standard formats for your HTML files, if you remember that, get going, start typing. Starts with an exclamation mark, angled bracket. IntelliSense is going to try to help you out right there. First thing that pops up, doc type, HTML. And we talked about everything needs to be inside the opening and closing HTML tag. And the two things we talked about was the head of our website and the body of our website. So that's basically how you start every HTML file. I can see what my website looks like by right-clicking this index.html file, open with live server, take this out, put it here, take my VS Code. Okay, there's a quick 3-minute review there. Let's add some hyperlinks because that's what this video is about. So if we were going to add an hyperlink, where would we add it in our code? Well, we could either add it in the head section or we could add it in the body section of our website. Remember, head is just information about our website. And the one we used, the one elements, we used a title tag to create a title element. So let's just give our website a title. Fun with hyperlinks. Control S to save it. And there you have your title of your website. All right, hyperlink time. So hyperlinks are things the user can see on your website, they can interact with, they can click on them. So therefore, they're going to go in the body of our website. And to create a hyperlink, you use a tag. Who would have thought? And the tag you use is A. Don't ask me why, but if you want to create a hyperlink, you use the A tag. Now, there's a bit more to the puzzle that we have to figure out here. Let's start with the simple things. So, your user needs to see the hyperlink. And if we go back to Google, there's a hyperlink. And notice it's nothing fancy. It's just the word about. Or this hyperlink, it's just the word store. So a good place to start with hyperlinks is to just give your link a name. Give your links a word or a few words that the user can see. So we've already got Google open here. Why don't I create a hyperlink on my website that will link to Google? So I'm going to say, I want this hyperlink to say Google. So I put in the word Google in between my opening and closing A tag. So if you Control S to save it, you'll notice we see Google on our website. But if I try to click on Google, nothing happens. It's because right now at this point, it's just words. It's just text. So probably, arguably, the most important thing about your hyperlink, your A tag, is in the opening tag, you put a little space, and you type in href. And you say that href, see the IntelliSense pop up? You can press tab so that it gets it set up with an equal sign and a pair of quotation marks. So href equals, and then you're going to put the link of the website or whatever you're trying to link. You're going to put that in between the quotation marks. So if I was trying to link to Google, the website Google, I could literally just copy the URL in my address bar, and I could paste it and say that href is equal to this URL. So if I save, and I'm going to do this again because I don't need this much space. I want more space for my code here. So if I hit Control S to save, now on my website, my hyperlink, I can actually click it because it's going to take me to this URL, this website. So if I click it, it takes me straight to Google. So those are really the fundamentals of hyperlinks. Give your hyperlink some text, kind of like a name, and then you can give it the actual link. Where's the hyperlink taking you? Well, it's taking you to this website right here. Boom. Now we can clean this up, or we can make it a little bit more fancy. There's a couple things you can do. Besides the href, you can put your cursor here and you can add in a keyword here. Let's say target. And you can see the IntelliSense pops up. So just press tab on your keyboard. And these are the 4 options you can choose for a target. The only ones I'm really concerned about are blank and self. Self is the default one, I believe. So let's see if we can figure out the difference. If I put blank in, so if I click blank, so I got underscore blank. If I Control S and click on your link, see if you notice anything different about your link. Do it yourself and see if you can find what we changed. It's a very small thing. So if you've set it up properly, when you click this link now, it opens up a new tab. So it doesn't change that's not a good way to describe it. Using the target blank attribute, it opens up a new tab and then goes to the link so that you don't lose the page that you're on. So if I click on Google, this tab doesn't change. It opens a new one, and this tab goes to that link. So now I have 2 tabs open. If you don't have the target attribute set to blank, you may have it set to self, which is the default one. And self means that when you click this link, this tab is going to change and go to that link. So notice I lose that website and I'm taken to Google, just one single tab. So it's all just a matter of what you're trying to accomplish with your website. And there's no right or wrong way to do things. But I'm just going to leave it as blank because then you can see the options available there. Boom. And if you really wanted to be fancy, there's one more attribute we could add. We have href, we have the target attribute. Let's add a title attribute. And you can see the IntelliSense pops up there. So just press tab. And whatever you put inside these quotations, well, let's just show you. So if you put this link takes you to Google, Control S. Well, my link doesn't look like it changed, but if you put your mouse over your link, you get a little note that pops up. And who would have thought that the note says the exact text that you put for your title attribute? So now we've got an even more detailed hyperlink. Those are really the only main things you're going to use. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Now, just while we're on the topic of hyperlinks, maybe I don't want to take my user to a completely different website, such as Google. Maybe I want to take the user to a different page on my own website. The problem is I only have one page on my website because I only have one file. It's my home page, my index.html file. So is it possible I could add a new file by clicking this button? And I could call this file, what can we call it? Let's pretend we were making a store for our website. So I'm going to call it store.html. And much like index.html, index is our home page, but store is still an HTML file, so it's going to look the exact same as this. So what you could do is you could copy all this instead of rewriting it, but it doesn't take much to rewrite it. So every HTML file we said, the IntelliSense pretty much does it for you. Doc type, press tab, HTML, opening and closing tag, and we've got a head, opening and close, and a body. So now I can create a website with two different pages. So how could I link to this second page, this second file of my website? Well, I'm not going to erase the Google link here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just add another link, hyperlink. So I could go a tag, because that is how we create a link. And then what words do I want for this link? Well, if I'm creating a store page for my website, chances are I should probably call this link store. So if I press Control S to save, there I have the store pop up. This link doesn't take me anywhere because it doesn't have an href yet. But before I do that, I don't want, scratch that. I do want these beside each other. So if I click this store hyperlink, I want it to take me to this page of my website. So how do I do that? Well, inside your a tag, we're going to give it an h. We're going to change the href attribute. And instead of taking us to this website, google.ca, because this store HTML file is in the same folder as the index HTML file, that's why folder management is so important in web design. Because these two files are in the same folder, I can actually just reference this file by its name. So I can say store.html, and you can see the IntelliSense pops up. And that's a good thing. That means I did it right. So now if I click this store link, it'll take me to this page of my website, which is completely blank right now. So I'm going to hit Control S to save. And now my store link works. I can click my Google link, or I can click the store link. And if I click it, just go ahead and click I understand, don't show again. And now we are taken to this page of my website. So I'm just going to go back, refresh, Control S. So once again, I can go to Google. And what I will do with this store link is much like my Google link, I will set the target attributes to be blank, so that I don't lose this tab of my website. This hyperlink opens a new tab and takes me to this line of my website. Just press that. So fairly straightforward, I'd say. Maybe just to make this demonstration a little bit clearer, let's title this store section of our website. So let's put store as the title, and in the body, what are we selling? What are we selling in your store? Well, let's use a paragraph tag, and let's say here you can buy. What can you buy in your store? I don't know. In my store, I'm selling panda bears. Control S to save. And let's just see how this works. So I press store, and hopefully you can see much clearer that it's taking me to this file, which is acting as another page for my website. So that's pretty much it with hyperlinks, and the attributes, the necessary attributes to make the links do what you want to do. So you need the link to take you to the right place you want to go, and it could be someone else's URL on the internet, or it could be a file for your website, another page for your website. And you can either open a new tab with that link, or you can use the current tab and go to that part of your website. And finally, the title attribute, which lets you make a little note when you hover your mouse over it. Easy peasy.